And we are live. Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet.
And this is Talking Palettes. I'm your host, Daniel Crosier, or Crosier, or Crosier, depending on how you want to say it in French. And I am joined by the remarkable stop motion animation maestro and filmmaker, Gio Toninelo. How are you, sir?
Hello. How's it going, guys? How's it going, Dan?
Oh, good. Yeah, it's fantastic to be able to chat with you and to have you on. We go back just a few years, right? I think you had a screening at your event an event at your house, like over 10 years ago, and you were introducing some of your stop motion animation, your film festival at the time.
That's right. You were one of the judges.
Right. Yeah, that's right. That was a lot of fun. I thought it was incredibly remarkable and ambitious to see stop motion animation, done in that scale.
It was super fun. Yeah, yeah. If you think about it, I mean, I think the first one was 2005. So even more than 5 years, 10 years,
Hmm.
more like 15 years, which is
Right.
crazy. And that we kept in touch through this whole time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Most definitely. It's been fun watching you grow, doing your thing. Yeah. Originally, it was like the GI Joe animation stop motion animation fest or something, and then
yes.
now you've rebranded. I think.
So we had to. I mean, we started with a GI Joe Fest or GI Joe Action Stop Motion Film Festival. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And then we had like 10 plus years of Hasbro kind of behind us
Mm.
support the use of the name of GI Joe. And then a couple of years ago we had they had a change on the marketing department, and the new uh, gentleman that took over for Michael Verrecchia,
Hmm.
he decided that we could not use the GI Joe, the name GI Joe anymore. So we rebranded, and it's funny because it was always kind of like it was about GI Joe, but it was mostly more about action figures being animated than
Okay.
anything related with GI Joe. So when we rebranded, it kind of just was super liberating because then we could put Iron Man with GI Joe
Right.
and whatever else action figure you had, or even a Barbie, or it's just kind of opened up this door that was super great, and it's kind of like it's a big fu to Hasbro because now I can use GI Joes plus everything else, and plus all the other lines. I can even use Transformers, which is owned by Hasbro, without infringing anything. So um, I think I mean, I guess they are the losers on this whole story, at the end. But
Right.
uh, and we're super great, we kind of had a show here in Denver. We went to LA last year. We were in São Paulo last summer,
Oh,
uh,
fantastic.
and so it's been kind of so slowly, and we're kind of like gearing up to kind of either go to Seattle or Portland, this coming, kind of right about now. But then, you know,
Things happen. Something called COVID.
so then we got stuck on that. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Uh, Gio, what drew you into doing stop motion?
so it was kind of like, I mean, I was always kind of into action figures. I kind of
Hmm.
grew up with um, the figures, and the best way. I mean, I was infatuated with stop motion from as a kid. Like,
Hmm.
and so when as you grow up and you're like, oh, this animating figures like this, doesn't look that great. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so we got into doing some stop motion stuff. In fact, the whole project, basically, the film festival started because of Pawn Patrol. I don't know if you which was that photography comic book that I had online.
Right. I vaguely remember that.
And so, I mean, it was the idea. It was basically just photographs, and the idea was kind of like, hey, let's do a film festival to showcase what other people are doing, because um, that's what I really wanted to do. I just didn't have the time to put an episode every week, animated, and all this stuff is like,
that's intense.
Working, and so a regular job and trying to do this, it was impossible. So that was kind of like, hey, this is happening, and let's put all these guys together, and let's, And eventually I was doing films for the festival, or being a producer, or connecting writers with, filmmakers, and, all kinds of stuff, kind of like, because it became kind of this massive workshop. Like everybody's like, hey, I got this. Hey, I want to do this film, but I don't have this. Oh, I got this guy that does it. And so, and filmmakers would start, becoming friends. So it was this big club, almost sort of way. And so we've done, so over the years, this is like way 2000, early 2000s, and then obviously, I grew a little bit out of it, because I just became the curator of the film festival.
Okay.
And instead of doing animation, I'm doing live action stuff with a production company.
Yeah.
So,
with Rocket House, right?
That's right. Rocket House.
Yeah, some hot. I just got this 44. That just comes from the film Mandy. No big deal.
Well, it could mean a lot of things. But,
that's true. That's true. It's a really boring sex position.
That's awesome.
It's called napping. Napping curled up. Oh, that's terrible. So when did you come over to the States? Was that about the time that you started getting into filmmaking, or growing up? Because you grew up in South America. Whereabouts?
So I'm Latino. I'm Brazilian. That's debatable if we're Latinos or not, but I think South America we're Latinos. But
yep.
But anyway, so I think it was. I mean, it's been almost 25 years, right?
Wow. Okay.
In the U.S., which, by the way, I just became a citizen this year.
Oh, congratulations!
So, I went to college in New York, and I went to design school.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Through the years, I've been kind of involved with some sort of art, and a lot of it was commercial stuff.
Okay.
So animation kind of came later, as it started as a hobby, and then we became kind of a little more into more professional stuff. But and then the filmmaking, we actually had this design little firm called Rocket House Studios.
Yeah.
Which is still kind of around, but we kind of rebranded as Rocket House Pictures.
Okay.
And basically what was happening was, you do the branding for the client, you design the website, you get pretty much everything out there. And then when you think you're done, the client is like asking you, hey, can we do a video?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. Maybe, usually I was sending them somewhere else, to a third party or a friend company or something like that. And at some point I'm like, hey, can we do a video? I'm like, yes, we can do a video, because I already had the cameras for animation and all this type of stuff. So we start shooting live action commercials for clients. And now Rocket House Studios, branded as Rocket House Pictures, it's pretty much like video is 98% of the business. And the other 2% is basically maintaining old clients, logos and websites and stuff like that. So it's that's all we do.
So you pretty much run the gambit. It's a nice design firm as well as film production.
Pretty much, which is interesting because with COVID, we are obviously not working. Things are starting to pick up now.
Good.
A little slow,
Yeah.
but I can always fall back to the design work. In fact, we just, and there's a lot of stuff during this downtime, we kind of jump in to help out small businesses that we're trying to, we have some friends and people that we know that they were starting a business
Yeah.
as, the pandemic, the quarantines were happening, and they were like, oh fuck, so we're like jumping in. It's like, hey, let's help you out. Let's rebrand your business.
Yeah. Good.
Not
Yeah.
changing names or anything, but just like, hey, let's make a logo. Let's get the site
Hmm.
for when things are back to normal. You're like right on top. You're ready to go. Um,
Right.
just kind of. So we're kind of like helping out people as we go. You know what I mean?
Nice.
That's kind of because we're not doing nothing. Like I said, like we were talking the other day, it's like I'm off till Christmas so far.
Yeah. 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 It's yeah. Well, I think that's a good thing that you're able to provide. If people right now with businesses, kind of put off to the side, or nobody can really do too much. Yeah, yeah. Rebranding is a good thing in the sense that I don't think people realize to do something like that. Everybody's
You have a chance, right? You're taking a break, so
right,
normally you're like, hey, you're working up, you worry about sales and all this stuff, you know what I mean?
right.
And you're not doing anything, so you like that stuff from the back of the house that usually you put off because you don't have time to do it. This is the greatest time to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Work on your SEO, do a little rebranding, update the website. Even if you're not working, go work on your resume. And I'm sure a lot of people are doing that.
yeah.
But with a little more time and finesse. Um, so, I mean, that was the idea. So we kind of just jump in. So, like, hey, do you need a hand? We're here to help. You know.
Nice, good. That's wonderful. Kendra says hi, Gio, and hi, Daniel.
Hello, Kendra.
Hello.
Kendra's a great animator, by the way. So
Oh, is she works with you, or yeah, does she participate in the stop motion animation?
we've done some stuff together as kind of curators at the Bug Theater
Oh, fantastic.
because we used to do the Denver Pixel Show,
Okay, right.
which was just local stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So Kendra and I worked together, like picking movies and you know putting the promos together in those shows, which was super fun. The late Patrick Sheridan was part of the group too. So
Cool. Didn't you just curate an online animation show too, like a week or two ago?
we've done besides the Action Figure Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also part of the Denver International Animation Film Festival.
Mm,
Um, so we had some films from years past,
cool.
and we kind of just, it was like Friday night quarantine. No, everybody's home. It's
Yep.
like, so I'm just throwing stuff, out there for people to watch, and so we did a little. It was about an hour show, and it's all short, so all stop motion, but
Nice.
but no action figures. Those were actually like handmade little puppets and characters, and it was super awesome.
That
Um,
that's pretty cool. The what on with things online, are you able to get like an immediate response or a gauge?
yeah, I mean, like I guess what happens is, like we were talking earlier about branding. We have to um, broadcast all these live shows from our own page,
Yep.
not from the business page or the what I mean.
Yeah.
Because people kind of tend to engage more with us,
Mm-hmm.
you and I, than
Individuals.
with
Yeah.
our event pages and all, the festival page, all that type of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so the response was great, but these are all my friends. A lot of you know the people that are watching this stuff, it's people that are friends of ours.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, because you're on live, and Facebook has like an index of who's live right now. You
Right.
end up you end up with someone new, like, hey, I'm watching from Alaska, blah blah.
Oh, that's sweet.
So I always try to be super cool about, when new people jump in, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Blah blah. Here's a link. Because I have time to do that because it's all playback, between
Yeah.
the festival. For you, it's a little harder to be like, hey, you need a secretary or something. But
Oh.
uh, but yeah, but people love it. People engage, and and I'm hoping to kind of, I just kind of putting a bug on people's ears.
Mhm.
Hey, we're still here, um,
Yeah.
and when time comes, we'll come out again and go play.
Yeah. When you're in the past, when you were able to take the stop motion animation, the festival itself, and tour around from city to city, do you find that the response is different from city to city?
Mm, uh, Not necessarily,
Okay.
like especially um, with the action figure film festival. You're going to
Yeah.
find collectors everywhere, and
Yeah.
you're going to find those gung ho, hardcore, people, and so it's kind of sweet to go see them, go hang out, uh, and but usually the response is the same, and they're like, yeah, this is awesome,
Super into it.
and they're, or like, I'm gonna make a film. I never thought about it, but I'm gonna give it a shot, or
Yeah.
or people just come over for fun. It's kind of weird because when we came out with these festivals,
Hmm.
especially the Action Figure Film Festival, I thought it was going to be a super niche kind of thing. It was like just collectors,
Right.
nerd alert, nerd alert, nerd alert. But um, it wasn't. It was this super hip thing. I
Hmm.
was like, kind of like, guys are bringing their girlfriends, to the show.
I did.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's like a date night. This is great.
Yeah. The show itself is just so amazing. Just uh, even if you're if thematically, topically, you're not into it, the technicalities, to create that stop motion is daunting. It's just, for me, it's just jaw dropping, because those people, you included, that have to sit there and animate frame by frame, those subtle little motions, is just outstanding. I don't have the patience for it. I would sit there. My ADD just like, fuck this, burn everything. And so to how, what is it like for you to go in and animate frame by frame?
Things are a little bit easier, with software nowadays. You can do some onion skinning, kind of figure out your next move. Um, the one thing that never, still hasn't changed is like, if you mess up, you
Mm-hmm.
got to start all over again.
Yeah.
You know, so but there's, I think there are more tools. A lot of the stuff back in Ray on Clash of the Titans days.
Yeah. Ray
Uh,
Harryhausen.
exactly. So he had to create a lot of this stuff and the tools to make these movements happen.
Yeah.
Now you can go online and buy an armature or
Mm.
a stand, or I mean, obviously you can still make your own,
Yeah.
um, but it's time consuming, it's tedious. Don't get me wrong. Uh, but it's super fun because I think it's way more satisfying than animating, let's say, on the computer or doing a 3D animation, because it's kind of hands on.
Yeah.
And
Very
sometimes
tactile.
those little mistakes, kind of add to the,
Right.
whatever you're
Right.
doing. It's kind of like painting. It's like, hey, I didn't really mean to go this way, but it looks cool.
Right. Yeah, keep it in there.
Exactly. So so that's, and I think it's way more rewarding, I think.
It
Um,
it kind of reminds me of like that punk rock ethos, where the refinement doesn't necessarily have to be there. The point is
right.
to create and make your art.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, and it doesn't have to be, with 3D characters, or it could be paper, animated paper, animated sand, or it's and the greatest thing is, like, it can be anything, because you're creating this little world, the sets,
Yeah,
and the story, the characters, and uh, so it's magical for me. It's
yeah.
super magical.
That's got to be pretty transportive. Like just kind of being able to build your sets, build everything that you see and that you want, and you're essentially building your own little Narnia. Um, does it
Exactly.
does it become like a pretty big collaborative project, or do you find that you're doing it predominantly by yourself?
Um, Personally, I don't work well with others.
That's not what your wife says.
I work well with her
Yeah.
most of the time. Uh, but no, I think I'm very focused, and I get upset if my focus gets broken in the middle of
Yeah.
something. But I do collaborate a lot on a different level, which is like with voiceovers. You hire actors to do voices, or someone to actually write a script. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, I have this joke. Can you write a script based on this joke?
Oh, interesting.
And so these things all happen. Or I have an idea, uh, get a writer to write it, and then someone else will animate, and then
Mhm.
comes back to me, and I'll produce and release. So it's like, I mean, I'm producing while this is happening also.
Yeah.
So it is very, open to collaborating. You know, I'm very particular when I'm working on a project on my own, that I usually, if I'm animating, or if I'm building a set, usually it's by myself. Which is a pain in the ass, and it's my own fault, and I kind of, I already know what I'm in if I decide to go for a project, because it's going to be more expensive, because I got to bank everything, I got to build everything, and
Yeah.
so there's a price to pay for that.
Yeah. Most definitely. I find when I'm working on a film project, it's good. It's always good to network with people that you just don't have that skill set, but keep it as minimal as possible. Just keep it essential, and then don't overextend your time and their time, and
Right.
feed them well. And that usually leads.
Always.
Yeah, yeah, and you guys are really well known for feeding people very well. I remember
Yes.
having one of your famous dinners a few years ago. It was,
The yellow woodpecker pop-ups, yes.
oh my god, it's so good.
So I I have the production company,
Hmm.
and my wife has the craft service business, and we both work for each other, right?
Hmm.
So sometimes I'll be, on a set working for her company, when I'm not working,
Yeah,
and my wife Jenna comes to my sets as an assistant director, and she basically orchestrate everything that's happening there for us, which is great. She's
yeah.
marvelous. If anything, she's the better one, because I think I do. I try to do a good job on her sets, but I think she does a way better job on my sets.
she can come in and just take the ropes and help manage everything, and then
Yeah,
but yeah, the fun thing too is she's supposed to be your better half anyway.
no, we do great together.
Good.
Uh, you know, um, it's been a work in progress, so obviously, as
Yeah.
every marriage. But
Yeah.
and you know, we disagree every once in a while, and it's fine.
Yeah.
We get over it, and life goes on, and we go to the next job. You know?
Yeah. And with having to be in isolation, during the stay-at-home order and everything, you guys have been working together and working separately. Especially at your headquarters, you've got different built houses that you can go do your own things, right?
Right. So the property is very unique for Denver standards. You know,
Yeah.
so we have kind of a double lot with three little houses, an old barn, um, and a tool shed, like a nice little workshop type thing. And so we can actually separate. You know, so we're
Mm-hmm.
not like in each other's business. You know, so I mean, it's been great.
That's good. Yeah.
We had a lot of fun, and we've been cooking some food together. We've been working on some projects together. In fact, I have some projects that we're going to do together next week.
Oh, great.
Um, you know, she's we're going to work on a couple of spec commercials. You know, because it's
Cool.
downtime right now, like I was saying, right?
Yeah.
So let's do some fun stuff. You know, like a little bit business related. And in fact, I'm doing this. We got to record this voiceover for a company in Toledo,
Mm-hmm.
and so we're going to do it together. And I think, I mean, it's kind of looking forward to it. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's been super fun here, and kind of, you know, I'm like, I'm gonna look at these, you know, this last 2 months, like, um, with a lot of fondness in my heart, you know, because it was a good time.
Yeah.
Uh, Granted, you know, it was scared, you know, it was scary for all of us, you know. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
and it still is because we don't know what the hell is happening with
Right.
how we're going to move out of this, you know. Is it gonna
Right.
We're going to be hit with another second wave, but regardless, I think I'm going to look back to that, you know, to April and March 2020, like with a lot of love in my heart, because it was, you know, we here at the house had a lot of fun.
That's good. It's good to be able to reflect on that too, in such a positive manner. With such an uncertain time, and then since you and I talked too, we've been having these protests and these riots come about too. So it makes for even more uncertainty, and I just hope people out there are doing well and are okay and not getting hurt.
I know, me too. I mean, since I just, you know, especially, I mean, this is my home, right?
Right.
I'm from Brazil, but, you know, became a citizen and all. So, you know, my heart goes out to everybody out there, you know. Um, and yeah, I mean, and it has to happen, you know, and I'm glad people are voicing their opinions. And people are fed up, you know.
Yeah.
Um, it's not just the, you know, George or the pandemic. It's all together, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And you know, people, you know, eventually people are not going to put up with it.
Right. Right.
You know? And it's kind of slightly crazy because it took almost 4 years with the president we have for people kind of
Right. Mr.
like,
Orange.
hey, right, um, but I don't want to get into deep into politics, you know.
Sure. Sure.
Um, but yeah, because I'll be like shaking this thing over here.
Oh, I know. So will I. But no, I totally get it. The yeah. Are you looking forward to any like stop motion original projects of your own?
Well, you know, since we have the time to do this stuff. Well, it was a little scary in the beginning because,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like, okay, I have the time, I have this idea for a film.
Oh, cool.
Do I do it? Right.
Right.
And then I'm looking at the workshop. I'm like, oh, I need to buy materials, some balsam wood, and,
Yeah.
you know, more paint and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, well, I'm not working. I mean, should I spend the money? Should I take a gamble on this? You know?
Sure.
So I did not. You
Okay.
know, I kind of chickened out. I'm like, I'm going to stay put here, um, and did not. go buy new materials for the sets. And it's kind of like I'm really particular about some of the stuff, so it's not like, okay, oh, let's just make out of cardboard and the stuff, and I'm like, no, it's not gonna cut it for me, especially for this particular project,
Right.
you know, that I had in mind. So I'm like, I just kind of I'm sitting on the idea. In fact, I'm kind of, I through the quarantine, I took this, because I'm kind of more of a visual guy. Kind of, I operate a camera. I'm a cinematographer and all, and so I'm not very good at writing.
Oh, at writing?
No, I mean I write, but I always second thought. I really, especially not being a native English speaker. You know, I usually keep thinking like, this is not good enough.
Oh, you speak better than I can. I'm
So
still learning the English language.
You hear every once in a while a little mistake here and there. But anyway, so I usually send this out, we usually hire a writer or anything like this, some stuff like that. But so I took this course. I took a script writing course through quarantine.
Nice.
Which kind of gave me a little more confidence. So now we're kind of like reworking the script.
Okay.
To see. But yeah, definitely there's something coming up in here in the next 2 years for sure.
Excellent. That's cool. And then you'll be wanting to continue with the animation film festival too, because that's now called the action figure and
film festival. Yes.
Film festival. Okay.
Yes. So once things kind of settle up a little bit, I don't envision going out for any other stops this year. This is going to be kind of like I'm not even going to make any false promises because chances are we're not going to do it. So probably 2021, 2022, we kind of hit the road again.
Yeah.
The program is actually pretty great. So it probably won't change. What I might do is like later in October open submissions again.
Yeah.
And then if there is anything super special, we include to the new show. But other than that, we'll just keep building up for the next one. But the show that will tour probably be the one from last year.
Nice.
A lot of people haven't seen it, so
yeah. I think the shorts that I remember were quite eye openers. Again, because of the technical applications and stuff.
You'll be surprised because he has changed quite a bit.
Okay.
Or better. They look more polished.
Nice.
It's in fact, I think when we did one of those small screenings on Facebook, like through March. During March, some of the old filmmakers were like, "Oh my God, this, it has changed the way people are animating and then how the new guys are coming in. It has changed. So he brought the level way high.
That's great. Yeah. Hopefully that can help inform whole new groups of interested people to participate in this.
Oh yeah. I mean, it should be. I mean, toys are still being made and kids still playing. And there's there will be a new generation for this. And I think, the stop motion level, which is kind of a dying art because of computer animation and stuff like that, it doesn't have to die, and people are still interested. And we're going to keep pushing the festival to keep this dying art from dying.
Right.
It's like, hey, it's still happening.
Yeah, I think there's definitely an opportunity for more breakthroughs and to reach those larger audiences. You've got production studios like Leica that do amazing stop motion. Like a couple of years ago, they put out Kubo and the Two Strings. That's like my favorite Japanese / Star Wars movies. Because it played with all those romantic themes.
Right.
And they did it so, amazing.
They're marvelous. I mean, they're super. I mean, did you see the fight challenge that they put out?
No.
I don't know if you saw the stuntman. They were doing like doing the. And
Okay.
then when they come back, there's someone else on the other side of the screen.
Oh yeah.
So they've done a bunch of those, right, with actual people, but Leica put out one with animated characters.
Wow. Oh, that's cool.
I should send that to you later,
Yeah, send that to me.
or
That'd
put it
be.
put it on the comments. Um,
Yeah, most definitely. That sounds
but
amazing.
it's adorable. It's adorable.
That's cool. Yeah, one of my, back when I was doing OFM and we were doing the stage combat stuff, one of my fight choreographers recently in quarantine, he reached out to me and he's like, "Yeah, we should do this, action video." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He finally sent me a few, and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay, now I know." It's like, yeah, no, I'm delicate. He's like, "Yeah, you can flip over this and do it." Yeah, no, my body doesn't move that way anymore. It probably can, but I'm fucking lazy now. Now I do these awesome interviews where I get to meet, cool or talk to old friends and chat about their art and stuff, and be able to sit down and get fat while I do it.
I know, right? Oh man.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I miss out on you guys' cooking. This is like, for me, it's just been a lot of pizzas and a whole shit. At least I have got a lot of salad, so that's
There you go.
that's one thing. It's like, I got to keep the roughage going and keep the garden growing too.
Well, you got to keep things moving so you can eat more pizza, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because if you
Kind of
get
the
that
theory.
blocked off, it's like, yeah, well, so much for that pepperoni hole. Gio, what are some of the things that really inspire you? Like, what are your big influences?
Mm. It's there's so many things. I think I kind of like growing up in Brazil, for example. We didn't have a lot of money, and we had to fix our cassette tapes. Like rip, you put a little tape in there, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I always found kind of like this, um, find inspiration or find, you have to be frugal and stuff. So you start seeing beauty on the ordinary, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm kind of like, um, it doesn't take much for me, to be like amused. Like
Yeah.
you're walking down the street and there's some sort of a fence line that matches, perpendicular to something else. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
For most people, just probably drive by, don't even notice. But
Right.
um, so yeah, there's that kind of stuff. Um, I do, being a filmmaker and stuff like that. I do dig lights
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So I'm always looking up, for where the sun is and how all that stuff is, um, and trying to find some beauty on those, little things. But yeah, I mean, inspiration's everywhere for me.
Okay. Okay. What about film and doing stop motion? Obviously, you were probably a fan of action figures and stuff. What did you used to
Yeah.
collect as a kid?
Well, yeah, I love this. Well, I'm a huge kind of like sci-fi kind of guy, too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of all this unknown things, and it doesn't have to be about space and stuff,
Right.
um, but yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't have a lot of names to throw or stuff like
Okay.
that. I think if there's a lot, and I think I would be making be dishonest to myself if I actually picked a couple of things here and there. But um, I don't know.
No problem. Don't mean to put you on the spot.
It's hard, man. I mean,
Yeah. There's.
I never made those lists. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm sure. Yeah, I get those questions sometimes. I'm like, I don't know. There's so many cool things out there. Um, I mean, is there a style or anything like that? It depends. It depends on the time of my life too.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Well, with self quarantine and stuff, what do you find you and your girlfriend, or your girlfriend? Sorry, your wife. Don't tell her I said that.
She might be watching. I don't know.
Okay, sorry. Because the other night you were having date night and you cooked a big dinner and sat down to watch a movie. So I'm curious. What do you watch in quarantine?
Gotcha. You'd be surprised. I don't watch a lot of TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like being a filmmaker, no, I don't watch a lot of TV. Um, but I think here's one thing that we've been watching,
Yeah.
and it's corny as hell. Is the Vagrant Queen
Oh, on Sci-Fi Channel.
on Sci-Fi?
I
So we've
think
been
it's based off of a comic book too.
um, and it's a little. I mean, the TV version is a little corny, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but they do a great job lighting the sets, and the sets are not that great, you know.
Yeah.
If they're kind of like, I mean, for the budget, they're actually pretty good. I have to say. I
Right.
shouldn't say that they're, you know, but you can tell like, oh, they're in someone's house, or you know, and they have like some LED roping light and great, you know. But
Right.
that's been kind of fun. That's been my new thing that we've been watching a little bit. Um, Mostly, actually, I mean, I like the story, but you
Mm-hmm.
know, the visuals are pretty decent. Um, what else? Um,
And that's pretty cool because Sci-Fi Channel, they're known for cheesy kind of B movie esque. Yeah.
yeah, but you know, and this is what you know. Sometimes I'm working in here in the office late, and then you tend to go check the COVID numbers, and then you get stuck in this rabbit hole of
Yeah.
news and
Information.
stuff. So
Yeah.
by the time I make it to the house, I don't want it. You know, I want it as simple as it comes. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
And that show does it for me.
That's good. Yeah, pure escapism.
Exactly. You
Nice.
know, sometimes I even fall asleep. I'm like,
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, so Alan is asking, Gio, how many seconds, minutes, can you animate in one day with stop motion?
well, it depends. I mean, if you talk, it's you know, you're talking about 24 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably the lowest. You can probably get away with maybe 18 frames per second. So you
Okay.
can do your math, you know, how how far you can go. You know, granted, you got to figure out is it one step and what is this character doing.
Yeah.
Uh, but that's kind of like 24 is the frames per second kind of mostly mimic the human movement
Yeah. Yeah.
what cinema uses. So and you in stop motion a lot if you don't necessarily have to go 24. You can go a little lower because especially if you're doing something goofy, you know what I mean? If you
Mm-hmm.
want to do like a Leica kind of video type of thing,
Yeah.
then you probably want to stay with 24, or if you're not a little more maybe.
Right. Right.
Um, but yeah, so just do the math: 24 frames for each second of your film, and it's not a lot.
No. Yeah. The one thing that came to mind was a friend of mine. He's been in the film industry for about 30 years, and he said it's really hard for him to go to the theaters and watch something projected on a big screen because he can see the shutters as those frames are coming by. So
Right.
it's annoying for him. But as a filmmaker, do you ever pick up on stuff? Obviously, you pick up on the lighting and stuff, as we talked about Vagrant
Oh
Queen.
yeah, we do it all the time. We I mean, even audio stuff, like, hey, uh, I watch movies differently. You're always kind of like looking for like, it's not that I'm going for the setup. You're like, haha, I made a mistake, but
Yeah,
you're like, hey, how did they like that set, or that type of stuff, or like, hey, that stunt doesn't look right, or or continuity. You know what I mean?
Right,
Usually
right.
watch a lot of that. So, but you do. And that's why I like the Vagrant Queen, because you don't have you already know it's goofy, and you already
Yeah,
know those things are there. So you just let it go.
yeah. I think that's one reason why I really like B movies, like something like The Toxic Avenger. It knows what it is. It's not going to take itself seriously, and you're not going to have you're in for a good time.
That's right. That's right. That's all it is. Let's laugh out altogether.
Yeah, yeah. So going back a little bit further, you brought up Pond Patrol, and that was more of a comic book, still photograph comic book type project. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. So I mean, I guess the whole. I'm always trying to find things to do, because I can't sit still. So
I know that.
when we, so when we first moved to the property, I put a pond
Yeah, nice.
with turtles, right?
I love turtles.
I'm a big turtle guy. Um, so anyway, so we had this pond over there, and I'm like, eventually one of my action figures, like a GI Joe 12-inch, the big guys,
Mm-hmm.
it made it to the shore of the pond to protect the pond. Kind of like just like it was supposed. I don't even know if it was supposed to be like a photo op or just like for shits and giggles for me to laugh when
Right,
we
right.
walk by the pond. And so that kind of like, hey, what if I tell a story? What is this guy doing here? What's this deal? And so that became so the idea kind of grew for a month, and then all of a sudden there's this kind of like the first episode,
Mm-hmm.
and he's getting deployed to go investigate some, disappearances at the pond or something, whatever. And so I did a couple, took a couple photographs in the studio. Some eventually we start taking photographs of the pond, and then the pond was too small and then this thing just kind of grew. And then we're down at the Platte River, you know, with a DSLR and lights and all this stuff, taking pictures of action figures. And,
Nice.
so there was an episode. So it was an episode every Thursday for 2 years.
Wow.
And, and the episodes have like a main picture. And as you read the story, you could click on because it was kind of like a blog style,
Mm-hmm.
so you could click on part of the text, of the story, and then it will pop up another little pop-up window with another photograph and stuff. So we did that for 2 years. Never made any money from it. I should have put a donation
Right. Donation button.
and I didn't put this donation button to the end of the project.
Did they have stuff like that back then? Like with PayPal, I suppose?
Yeah, they had a PayPal donate kind of money, or
Okay.
it was 2003, 4, I can't remember now. But
Yeah.
so there was some tools for that type of stuff,
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, we had some art shows, because those photographs eventually, I think I did 2 art shows
Mm.
with those photographs. Sold a bunch of stuff.
I remember the small villages, photographs, right? Where made the city look like little minis and stuff.
Right. Yeah, because it's funny, we're always working with miniatures, and then I kind of went and flipped the idea.
Yeah.
Now that I'm, so I'm photographing the city, but to look like miniatures,
Right.
So that was pretty good. That was there. I think we probably had 3 of those shows. And still stuff. It's crazy because I'm looking at these pictures,
Mm-hmm.
the little Denver pictures, with shot with the tilt shift lens.
Right.
Which, by the way, I made my own with a little toilet plunger. You could bend the lens, and
That's cool.
I don't even know where it is anymore. But
don't mistake it for the toilet.
no, I don't think it meant.
Okay.
It's probably, I don't know. Um,
You probably modified it enough that
but I'm looking at some of the, the other day, I'm like, hey, should I update the website? I don't know. It looks good, but I'm looking at the pictures, and Denver has changed so much,
Mhm.
you know, like compared to some of these. Um, I mean, which it's crazy because in the last 10 years, we shot some short films, you
Yeah.
know, we've done some TV commercials and stuff like that. And I'm looking at some of this stuff, and a lot of these, like some of the locations that we used, they don't exist anymore.
Right. Well, just up and down your street where you're at, because you're in close proximity to the Bug Theater. There's a lot of businesses that no longer exist on your
Oh
stretch.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the Navajo Arts District, it doesn't exist.
It's
You know,
just the Bug Theater in your house.
that's it. That's really it. My house. Well, it was part of it. But, yeah, there's nothing there. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Um,
Yeah.
it's kind of a bummer. I mean, it's gentrification.
Yeah.
This neighborhood has changed so much. So.
Yeah.
And Denver has changed. I mean, I shouldn't just point fingers here and there. It's just, I mean, it's the future. We're getting old, so we're like,
I know. That's what
so,
my shattered hip keeps telling me.
so it is what it is. It's fine. I mean, um, it's kind of sad that strip on Navajo Street is kind of gone. But
Yeah.
but hey, like that area of West Colfax where Pirate is now. That's kind of like that needed that lift.
Yeah.
That artistic, and hopefully more things will move there, and maybe that's where the new, the West Colfax Arts District will be.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Alan chimed in again. Looks like he's got a couple of things. Was Star Wars stop motion? I've recently become a fan and am going back to school to study Maya. I know some animation techniques and will now get into texture. I noticed Empire Strikes Back uses a lot of stop motion, maybe with the creatures. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the info. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, Star Wars. I mean, a lot of all the AT-ATs, AT-ATs, all that stop motion. The
Yeah, a lot of that's pretty seamless.
Oh, it's pretty great. I mean,
Yeah.
you can go look for those behind the scenes. Um, there's a matte painting behind them, and then there's the fake snow on top, and then there's a hole where the animator is.
Right.
And then here's It's great. I love those BTS. Because as a set builder, I think. I mean, I have to say, like, one of the most fun part of shooting a stop motion is actually building the set.
Yeah.
Or the characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Again, going back to building that whole world that encompasses your story.
Right. But yeah, a lot of the especially some of the there's a lot of techniques there that were new to the filmmaker or some improvements, but there was a lot of stop motion.
Yeah. And Kendra wanted to remind us Tauntauns too.
That's right. I was going to say, though, we got carried away there. The Tauntauns were all stop motion.
Yeah, and even when you jump over to like Return of the Jedi, I forget. Yeah, and somebody out there will be able to correct me, but the creature in Jabba's pit where Luke falls in.
The big, I don't know what that was called.
Yeah, I forget what it's called too.
Where Boba Fett falls in and gets eaten.
Yeah, Jedi was always one of those that, as much as I love it, there's parts of it that tend to be kind of forgettable.
Yeah, well, I know. We always need to revisit. I don't know if you know, but I've been doing this lo-fi Star Wars shows here at the house.
Yeah.
You've been to those to the first judging, for the G.I. Joe Fest here.
Right.
So we have the screen, the projector.
Yep.
So we do a lo-fi Star Wars, which I bring a VCR.
Oh, nice. The VHS versions.
And then I throw in no special effects. Like we do just the original versions.
Yeah, before the special editions.
Right. And the first time I did that, I think it must have been 4 or 5 years ago, more even. But we're doing Star Wars, A New Hope. We put it on, and I was just watching it, and I was like, wow, that's pretty dry, because I haven't watched it in years. So it's nice to go revisit those after, year after year.
Yeah.
It's one of those, it's fun.
Yeah, most definitely. You work a lot with the Bug Theater, and there's a little bit of a convenience of proximity because you're so close to it. But it's the perfect housing for the animation festivals that you do and everything. What's it like to be able to work with them, and then with independent theaters, kind of, especially now with the COVID-19 and everything, you have big theaters that are have stated that they might not be around. What's it like to see them still be able to kick in and would you say it's a good thing to really support local businesses like that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We only screen all these festivals that we run, and we don't do it in big film houses, right?
Right.
We might every once in a while we'll do it at the Alamo in Austin.
Okay.
But they're a little more respectful to the little guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like this big corporation. We don't care, They embrace the kookiness and the craziness of the small artists. So we do that there. Other than that, like even when we go to Seattle, Portland, they are all small run theaters, and I try to keep it that way so we can support these guys.
Nice. Yeah.
And my relation. I was a board member at the Bug Theater.
Okay, cool.
A couple of years ago, so try to support this.
Yeah.
Even during, and I have. Even during one of the screenings that we did through quarantine with the film festival, it just turns out that they were trying to sell, movie treats,
Yeah.
So they, try to make a little extra buck there. So I was just recommending, hey, go before you go watch our film festival, go over there and get some, popcorn at the Bug Theater and stuff like that.
Nice.
We try to support a lot, and we try to do all that there. So they're still around. We love going to Freak Train. I don't know.
I remember that. Yeah, and they still do that. They do that online now too.
We're trying to do it online right now. I think it's maybe 3 weeks now going.
Cool.
We go as much as we can.
Yeah.
And I think everybody should.
Right.
I can't imagine Denver without the Bug. That's
right. It is. It's pretty ingrained. It is quite a Denver institution.
It is. It's like Bumport Theater, the Bug Theater, and I'm sorry if I'm forgetting any other. Those are the two like independent little theaters that kind of keep things alive in Denver. The little play, because. Even the little theater companies, they have those spaces to go to, but
yeah,
the Bumport's a little more localized, but yeah, love them.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Alex. He's not watching.
Yeah, I think OFM once bled on his floor, so that's my kind of contribution to the Bug Theater. Lot of fake blood everywhere. It's like, oh, geez, a lot of cleanup.
Well, the old, I can't remember, the old floor was not the best, but now the new floor, they kind of.
That's right. They redid the stage.
Yeah, because they did the seat. All the seating got changed.
That's true. I remember that too.
Which was great. Yeah, that's right over here. Right.
Yep. Yeah. Well, cool. Gio, it's wonderful being able to chat with you. online. Hopefully next time we can do it in person and go get some coffee. Um,
Yes.
I'll wear my mask. I'm an asthmatic. Yeah, there you go. And then, but where can people find your works on YouTube, or what's your website again?
So the business, we're doing a lot of live action commercials, TV
Mm-hmm.
commercials, web commercials. Is rockethousepictures.com. I'm like,
Yep, there you go. Take a
and
screenshot.
then the film festival is called actionfigurefilmfestival.com. You can go check out. Unfortunately, there are no dates. There's no updates right there right now. Um, but by the way, the film festival, it's on pay per view right now, so you can actually go on
Oh,
the site, and uh, it's only $3. You have the 2 hours of animation. You can watch it for a day.
nice.
But so actionfigurefilmfestival.com. And that's really it. The Denver International Film Festival is on hiatus right now, so
Mm-hmm.
there are not a lot of news. I think the site is kind of just has a splash page right now on it. But that's it. I mean, we're here to help, and to make pretty things, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Thanks for sharing a little bit more about your life and what you do creatively. And
Thanks for having me.
yeah, and we'll make sure to post those links up under the video. Alan was asking about where to see your work and stuff, so those will be some really good avenues, and hopefully more people we can drive more people to see your stuff, and also to venture and investigate all the cool things that some place like the Bug can offer too. Um, and yeah, so with that, uh, yeah, go ahead, stay on. But when we sign off, uh, we'll chat a little bit more. And but anyway, I'm Daniel Crosier, your host. I'm so sorry you had to bear through me, but Gio is the amazing one here, and this is Talking Palettes. Thanks so much, and everybody, be good and look out for each other out there. All right,
That's right. Take care, guys. Thank you. Bye, Dan.
bye.